So these are the stats from February 14th, 1999 to October 9, 2016. Source, driveraverages.com. So that's a site I recommend to go check out. And also Tony Stewart, the 2011 Sprint Cup Series champion. So there you go. Which in 2011, was it the Sprint Nextel Cup still? Was it Nextel? See, it was the Nextel Cup, then the Sprint Nextel Cup, and then the Sprint Cup. Next year, don't know what they're calling it next year because it's the last year Sprint is going to be the sponsor. So, some big news that everyone's waiting on. I have no idea what it is. I haven't heard nothing yet. But I'm surprised it didn't come out with nothing yet. Maybe as we get closer and closer to the end of the season. But eventually we'll know who the new sponsor is going to be and what the new name for the first tier of NASCAR. Now, Kentucky Speedway is adding an extra layer of asphalt earlier in the year ahead of NASCAR's visit. Kentucky Speedway was reconfigured by increasing the bankings at turns 1 and 2, additional safety barriers and drainage enhancements. Kentucky Speedway General Manager Mark Semendinger says, quote, when our team examined the racetrack portions of the paving performed earlier this year did not meet the construction specifications. They continue to say that these deficiencies had no impact on this year's racing and would affect only the long-term viability of the surface if left uncorrected. He continues saying, in order to remedy these issues, an additional surface course of asphalt will be applied. The track will cure over the winter and be fully in use in the spring. Source, NASCAR.com. All NASCAR's 3 NASCAR series heading to Kentucky on 2017 on July 6, 7, and 8. Xfinity Series heads for a second visit in September. That's in 2017. It's the MotorsportsRadio.net report card. Oh, yes. Driver grades from Charlotte. Source, NASCAR.com. We have A, B, and C's. We're just doing A, B, and C's. They do D's and F's too, but we just do A, B's, and C's. But in the A column, we got Jimmy Johnson with an A+. And then we have Matt Kenseth, Casey Kane, Ryan Newman, Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Kurt Busch, Tony Stewart, Jamie McMurray, Michael McDowell, and Len Castle, who all have A's, and Jeffrey Earnhardt with an A-. In the B column, we have Danica Patrick, Carl Edwards, Chris Boscia with B+, and then we have Eric Almirola, Clint Boyer, Reagan Smith, Brian Scott, David Reagan, Michael Annett, Matt DiBenedetto, and Chase Elliott, who all get B's. And everyone else gets B-. Trevor Bayne, Colwitt, and Reed Sorensen get B-. And in the C column, we have Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Josh Wise, Ryan Blaney, who have C's. Austin Dillon and Paul Menard get C-. Exciting stuff, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Of course. All right, so we do the race breakdowns on Monday, and then on Thursday we just relax a little bit and chill. But here is the Motorsports Radio's penalty update. Yes, the moment you've all been waiting for, I'm sure. Now, there's a whole list of drivers, teams. All warnings, no real big penalties, just written warnings. Sprint Cup drivers received warnings this week during last week's race at Charlotte, starting with the 2017 driver Paul Menard. 2017 failed pre-qualifying inspection 3 times. Three times, and here, all right, 3 times. They also lose 15 minutes of practice. The 30 car driven by Josh Weiss. All right, we had a little. The computer was acting up with me. What's the computer doing? Just keeping my eye on it. Well, that's all. Well, we're all right. Now, the following teams failed pre-race template inspections 2 times, and it's the 6, the 7, the 20, the 41, 42, 78, and the 88. 6, Trevor Bayne, Regan Smith, Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch, Kyle Larson, Truex Jr., and Alex Bowman, who was in the 88 car last week. Also, the 17, 20, 23, 24, 31, 34, and the 43 failed pre-qualifying laser inspection 2 times. And the 4, 10, 14, and the 88 teams failed pre-qualifying template inspection 2 times. Kevin Harvick, Danica Patrick, Tony Stewart, David Reagan, Chase Elliott, Ryan Newman, Chris Buescher, Eric Almirola. And in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, only one team received warning for failing pre-race laser inspection 2 times, and that was the number 3 Xfinity Series team, Richard Childress Racing, the number 3 driven by Ty Dillon. All right, good stuff. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to wrap up soon. Motorsports Radio's History of the Numbers. And this week it's the number 48, Jimmy Johnson. They call him 6-time Sprint Cup champion, wins the Bank of America 500 with the 48 Hendricks Motorsports Chevrolet. And the question is, who else drove the 48 car? Here we go. Lee Schmidt, the first driver in the 1949 in the NASCAR Strictly Stock Series. 1950, Dick Burns, Alton Haddock, Larry Shurter, Gail Warren, Eddie Adams. But the first win for the 48 came in 1951. Bill Morton with 1 win in the NASCAR Grand National Series. The second win for the 48 would come in 1970. James Hilton, who also racked up 22 top 5s and 39 top 10s which is in 1970. And then we get to Jimmy Johnson, who started driving the 48 car in 2001. My goodness. From 2001 to 2016, that's a good resume right there. Who racked up 78 wins. And the biggest winning year hit 2007, where he won 10 wins in 2007, and altogether 78 wins in a total of 537 races, the most wins, beating only Dale Earnhardt Sr. So that is very impressive indeed. And now, of course, I heard this rumor that Kevin Harvick, this is a rumor, but okay, so I'm not saying this is fact, but I think Kevin Harvick might be racing for Hendricks Motorsports next year. I think so. And when I find out for sure definitely what's going on, I'll let you know. As you'll know, Stewart Haas Racing switching from Chevys to Fords next year. And the issue is what's going on with Kevin Harvick. But if you put Kevin Harvick on Hendricks Motorsports, I think Hendricks Motorsports is going to be a team to look out for in 2017, if that does happen. Some makes for the car, number 48, Chevrolet, Dodge, Ford, Pontiac, Mercury, Buick, Oldsmobile, Plymouth, Hudson, Chrysler, Studebaker, Caysa, and Lincoln. And some 48 stats, 1,441 races, 81 wins, 376 top 5s, 699 top 10s, 1,100 top 20s, 39 pole positions. Total laps raced, 375,893. And then total laps led, 19,543. Motorsports Radio's History of the Numbers. And this week it was the history of the number 48. All right, now that leads us to our last piece of business right here. Good stuff. And I do apologize for the paper ruffling, but I'm the king of notepads right here. We got this new microphone here which picks up everything, man. But it's a nice little mic here, and it makes it sound good. But I do got to apologize. I do a lot of note taking here, that's why you hear the paper ruffling around a little bit. Now, if you go to motorsportsradio.net, we have a comment section there. We're calling it the Motorsports Radio Fanfare. Let us know what you think about this podcast or racing in general. You know, for most part, I like to hear from listeners about their favorite driver, your least favorite driver, your favorite race. What's your favorite big race besides Daytona 500? Do you have other races throughout the season that you like? What's your least favorite track, your most favorite track, your favorite track? and stuff like that. So it's the motorsportsradio.net, and right on the bottom is the comment box. But we're calling it, the comment box sounds kind of boring, but we're calling it the Motorsports Radio Fanfare. So go up there and check it out, and I'll read your messages. Good stuff. Now, this upcoming weekend, it's just NASCAR, Sprint Cup, and Xfinity Series. Heading to the Sunflower State, also known as the Wheat State and the Free State. Kansas Speedway, 1.5 miles of asphalt. Bankings at the corners between 17 and 28 degrees. Front stretch is between 9 and 11. Back stretch, it is 5. Lap break is set by IndyCar driver Scott Dixon, Chip Ganassi Racing. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Motorsports Radio proudly presents the Motorsports Radio Racing Schedule. Alright, starting with NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday afternoon at 3:30 on NBC and MRN, and that's going to be the Kansas Lottery 300, and that's with 200 laps scheduled, or 200 advertised laps. And then we have Sprint Cup Series. Xfinity Series is going to be the first race of the round of 8 for Xfinity Series, and then Sprint Cup Series, we head to race number 2 for the round of 12. It's confusing, round of 12, round of 8, but I think it's fun. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series racing on Sunday afternoon. It's going to be at 2:15 on NBC and MRN for the Hollywood Casino 400, and that's with 267 laps. Both races on Big NBC on this weekend. So Xfinity Series Saturday at 3:30, and Sprint Cup Series Sunday at 2:15. As mentioned, NASCAR Campbell Truck Series returns on October 22nd from Talladega. That's their elimination race. And Formula One returns on October 23rd for the United States Grand Prix. Alright, that's going to do it for today, ladies and gentlemen. We got to do another one. We'll be back on Monday to break down all the races. Motorsportsradio.net is the place to go. Thank you for tuning in. This is Manny Allegretta, and this is Motorsports Radio.